while you're doing that. I guess since I got time, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
OBS Mac cannot add window. Is it display window capture, right?
Yeah. Hello. Not sure if anyone's here. We've been having a few technical issues, but we're working on them. We are streaming now, and I should be looking at this camera, not that one. And we have actually 3 monitors here, and none of them are working right. I am actually brought my laptop up to do this, so because I can do it when I'm back in Maine to learn, but I probably should have done it on Steve's. And we were trying to get Chuck in here, but Chuck, for some reason, my Skype video capture won't work. So Steve is, not Steve, Chuck is, I think, here on audio. Say hi, Chuck.
Huh? I'm sorry.
Say hi, Chuck.
Hey.
All right.
Can you guys hear me okay?
I'm not sure that anyone's here.
There's people in there, and we're definitely live.
Okay.
Looking at the stream.
Yeah, I see that we're live. Let's see. So there's you. Hey, Epi, how's it going? So yeah, we're just trying to get it going. We've tried to get, yeah, can you hear me okay? This is my laptop. Nothing. So of course I know that he can't, I don't think he can have sound right now. But that's all right. We'll see if anybody strolls in here in just a bit, and we'll get going on it. What we're trying to do is have a talk today on what we're doing with World Anvil. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't do that there, so I'm gonna There's Chuck. We can.
What's that?
Oh, I it's supposed to be showing my browser. If you were in my browser, people could see you now.
Well, the funny thing about that is, I just got to thinking about something. Doesn't Skype have a browser app? I was thinking. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if we can't get it to work next time, we'll do that. But for now, I think we're. Hey, good deal. Hey, Perry, how's it going?
Hey, Perry. Hey, Epi.
There should be a way because I've had the Skype from this end where I've Skyped in with Steve and done the show. Something may have happened with my OBS to make everything wrong. Hello, Mirandia. So that may be what it is. I'm just not really sure.
Hey, is OBS, you got full screen or window? Green button, upper right.
Oh, I got to bring OBS back up. Okay, and then yeah, it's full screen because it's
okay.
Yeah. So we don't.
I'm reading that's one of the problems with the MacBook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also,
hey,
a lot of people quit OBS and they went in and they quit OBS. They opened Finder, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Press Shift Command G, and then what they do is you basically set OBS back to its default, and then it works. There was some kind of update in the past that changed how it worked. If you've got old scenes in there, they will no longer work, and you have to reset OBS completely.
Okay, well, let's try that. Maybe after the show is over, we can mess with it.
That's fine. At least we have an idea.
Yeah.
Hot shit, Dale.
Hey, Derek.
Sweet Derek.
No, they don't, Perry.
You know what? You could do this. I forgot about this. I'm going to send you something in Skype. Go ahead and do your thing.
All right. All right. So we're going to get started here in a few minutes because we were a few minutes late trying to get this going. Again, I've done a little bit of this, but not hosting on this side. When Steve and I first started out with Twitch, trying to figure it out before Chuck came along and told us what we were doing wrong. We were trying to play around with it a little bit, learning scenes and sources, and used to be my source work, but it doesn't work now to try to get Chuck on there. So unfortunately, you don't get to see his ugly mug.
Yes, you do.
Well, you get to see my ugly mug, not yours. Not yet.
Check Scott.
Huh? Check Scott. Oh. Should I do...
See?
Huh?
How smart is that?
What is that? Oh, you want me to put that picture on there?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's better than the one with the Viking helm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Dude, you're talking about a person who is light years ahead of Steve in this, but I can't do that and talk to people and do the other thing.
Sorry. It's just to add image source, media.
Yeah,
But anyway,
all right.
how did you go? Jingo's here.
I have
Oh,
to
look, thanks for the biddies, Jingo.
I have to grab that, put it on the thing. Hold on. So anyway, Chuck, let's see, save the downloads. Chuck is here. We're going to be discussing World Anvil. We appreciate everybody coming by. We won't take up too much of your time, but we're just going to kind of go over what we're doing, what we'd like to see happen. We'd like to get some of your feedback as well. And then maybe we'll have enough of a show that everybody wants to see it again. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just... Chuck is wanting to have his face up on the camera, so
I'm not necessarily. No, just,
he's got a little bit of an ego thing going on here. Hold on a second. Let's bring him up here if we can. Image.
Use his laptop streaming forever, and so it's all good though. Listen, look at Perry. Nobody wants to see it. You know what? You're lucky that we're off this weekend. I would really bring the business, buddy.
All right.
I got to tell you, Tim, I'll be out of town for Saturday and Sunday for most of the day. Okay. I've got to go her ride to Atlanta for that paparazzi conference fell through, so now I have been designated taxi driver.
There we go. Oh, you're the taxi driver? Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yes.
Well, good deal. So let's get started. Now you can at least see Chuck's face.
Derek, come
on. So what we've got is World Anvil.
Yep.
Chuck, why don't you just start us out here for a second and tell us why we did World Anvil? Because this was really your sort of your baby here.
Well, initially, when I first started talking to Demetrius and Janet, they didn't know who I was, obviously, but they were just World Anvil. They had about 2,000 people in their community, and I really liked where it was going. He's a pretty amazing coder. And, you know, if you don't, you know, it's just like I tell Steve and Tim all the time, we're not a big publisher like WotC or Paizo, or WotC being the biggest one in the RPG industry, but you cannot ignore what they do. You have to, you know, you may not like some of the things they do, but they are successful. And one of the things that's made them very successful is some of the guys that work for them broke off and made this little thing called D&D Beyond, which they have tied themselves to and has enabled people, not just virtually, but in their homes, to be able to access books and stuff digitally without having to get books. There's a lot of places in the world where you can't get stuff. It's hard to get stuff in New Zealand, you know, take for an example, you know, or wherever.
Yeah.
And you can get online and access all their information. You can create characters, blah, blah, blah. And I really thought that would be something great for us, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the early stages, that's kind of what they were looking at doing, was something kind of like that. Demetrius had invented World Anvil for his wife because she was a fantasy writer, and she wanted to bring her world to life online. And we had this great world called World of Aihrde that I absolutely love. And I thought, man, it would be so cool if we could put that on there and have people learn about the World of Aihrde and learn about our games.
Yeah. And
then now, you know, you go forward a year later, they got 600,000 people and, you know, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of worlds on there. And it's sometime this year, I'm guessing second quarter, I think he said, maybe summer, they're going to have a whole new third part of it where it's going to be set up for community involvement. You're going to be able to create characters on there. They're going to be living, breathing things in the worlds.
Yeah.
You can do all this homebrew community content. So that's why I brought this to the table. You know?
Well, and I'm very excited about that part. You and I had a conversation with him about the community section, and I personally want to see that happen just so that we can get more and more people, not just sort of wandering around our world and discovering it, but, you know, being a part of it. They can be in the world of Aihrde. We're going to set up some stuff that hopefully will allow them to do that. But we can have the knights in there. Is that feedback? Is that me? I'll turn the sound. No, I have to have the sound on. So
give them hell. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. So, you know, the idea of being able to have people write their own stuff and third-party stuff, that's going to be very exciting, I think, if people want to do that. Then, you know, there's so many opportunities. Let me give you a little bit of a history about the world of Aihrde. So this is Steve's baby. He created this, started it. and got it going, and it's just become, so very massive with the Codex of Aihrde, all the expansions like Darkenfold and everything fills through. But he really, he started making this world usable for everybody, and it's so deep that we've got how many people now? 12 that are helping us out filling this stuff in, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in between you and myself too, that there's just so much to put in as far as adventures and everything. We decided that this would be a good place to put it because we have a website called worldofaihrde.com, which is not a bad website. It gives you a little bit of the information, but it's nothing there really. It's just really static. You don't have any, just a little bit of the history, a little bit of everything. But we can take this World of Aihrde site on World Anvil, and the sky's the limit. I mean, you've got maps, you've got markers on the maps, everything else. So one of the things I wanted to show people was sort of where, when we first got onto this, Steve, you came to us and told us about it, and Steve was like, oh, this is cool, what do we do with it? And we've really thought of it as being map-driven. So the idea was, you look at the map of the World of Aihrde, then you would tree down to any section that you have. So if you go from the World of Aihrde, then you can go to the lands of Ursel, and then these are the ones that we have populated so far. This would take you to the Darkenfold Forest, and then, well, actually into the southwest lands of Ursel, and then into the Darkenfold Forest.
Right.
And so this is where we were looking at, thinking this would be the coolest place to do, because this is one of the bigger places that we have populated in there. But you can see almost every single thing on this map here is already filled out and already ready for you to explore. The things that we have in the red dots there are the ones that I've put in, and but everything else is in the articles or in the back end where we've got it, where Steve's written it, and we just don't have it up there yet. So, and this is just probably one quarter of 1/9 of one section of the world. So you can see how this thing can just go on and on and on forever, and hopefully it will be. We'll see where we can go with it.
And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why we've got so many people. And I mean, my God, we've got 4,000 years of history put in this thing, and all these locations. And the thing about it is, obviously we're never going to fill this whole world out. But that's what's so great about this, is because once we come open up with the community part of it online, you guys will be able to get in there and add your own stuff and find places in there. You want to develop the village of Hamlet, not Hamlet obviously, but something like it. We can find a place, we could put it in Darkenfold, we could put it in the Great Soup Marsh, we could put it in Great Lothian Plains. Just by looking at that map, you could pick spots and you could create your own stuff there, your own city stuff.
Right.
And we can mesh it together. It's going to be awesome,
Right. And one of the things, let me get back to the other map here. The neat thing about this is that we can have layers on each map. So if I move Chuck's mug, bring this down, which you can't see, but it's in my way, then I can get. So we're now at the World of Aihrde map, but what we've put up right now is, like you'll see come up in a second, human migration map. That's a layer. And then you can do global wind patterns, and that's a layer as well. But what we can do is we can layer all this out where we can also have like a third-party worlds, or sections. So you write a section, we can have one just for third-party people that are in there. I mean, really, we haven't tapped what we want to do. What is Geek saying?
He's wondering about the homebrew stuff. Derek, we'll definitely have to go through a approval process, because if not, Steve would have our heads. But yes, it will. It will. I mean, there'll be some. I think there'll be some leeway. Some I can't think of the term I'm looking for now, but there'll be some flexibility on it. But yeah, absolutely, it's going to be canon.
Hey, Douglas.
Now, is whether homebrew will become canon, if that's what you're asking. That is a very, very good question. That's a good question. I would like to know that myself. If Steve would take homebrew content and make it official canon, that's a completely different story.
Basically, that's going to be sort of like, hey, we like it so much, we want it to become part of the official world. At that point,
Mm-hmm.
we would work with you and have that become part of Aihrde. Up until then, it would just be things that are you can publish in Aihrde. You can run your home brews as long as it's sort of set up in Aihrde and you run your game. That's fine. But
And I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, and the plan is there will be any of the homebrew content that we have will be in different layers.
Yes.
So if you go on there, you don't have to look at it, or if you just want to look at that, it'll be an option.
Right, and that becomes part of the other neat thing I think about the layering is that you and I had a discussion the other day. Let me go back to Dark and Fold, but that we're going to set it up where if you want, there'll be a legend down here where it says, you can't really see it on your screen that well, but any area with a red circle around it is sort of the explanation right now that those are places that we've populated. But basically what's all these things will be in there, but some are locations, some are settlements, some are mountains, and some of these places have adventures. We can separate all these out through different layers. So if you only want to see the game, the adventures, the actual adventures we have, you can do that. If you only want to see the locations or mountains, we're really not sure exactly. All it takes is time and a desire to make things happen, and we can make that happen. If it's not going to do that much change to it. So anyway, that's kind of where we are now, and so we've got a ton of people basically helping us out with this, putting information in, because a lot of people that are building their worlds, that's what they're doing. They're building their worlds, and it takes a long time to write all these things. Well, most of the work in this one area is done. We have, in the world of Aihrde, we have the mythology set, we have the history, we have the timeline, we have the cosmos all set. We have, a bunch of things that are already there for you to see. And so I'm bringing up the World Codex now. And also, guys, if you have any questions, Chuck is looking, and I'm learning to look over there. Yes. That if you have any questions about this, just shout them out. We're happy to we're happy to help you out.
That would be awesome, Derek. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, boy, he would run roughshod.
Guys, I put the link in there a while ago. I'm going to put it in there again. I don't mean to spam it over and over, but I probably will, because I'm not really trying to do like we normally do. But this is our first stream for this. Please join the Discord. Please post questions and suggestions in the World Anvil channel. We need your help. We want your suggestions.
Right.
Because we want you guys to like this. I mean, we could sit here all day long and sit on, soapboxes and proclaim ourselves gods, but that's not how this crap works. We want everybody to be happy with it. I want to be happy with it. Yep,
And there are things that you may want to see in there that we haven't even thought of yet. There may be ideas. I know that you can do some video in here. I know you can do audio. There's little things that we can bells and whistles it. But, there's also maybe some functionality that we're just missing. So
there's Mage now, Tim, from that's Black Mage. He's been helping out with the Frog Gods, their World Anvil project. Pretty clever fella. He's been a lot of help to us.
Really good. I've talked to Val's a little bit, and to who's that other gentleman? Is that Mage that was been in our?
Mage.
Okay, yeah.
He's got like 4 Mage names.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah, but everybody should just have one name. That's all across everything, because I know who is it? Is it Chuck? Is your Baboonsky? Your Chuck? Your Trollord Chuck? Your every different thing.
Don't forget my stripper name.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't want to go there. Yeah, the image is already burned into my mind. Thank you very much. But anyway, I lost my train of thought, because now all I can think about is you stripping. Oh, please. Oh, yeah. So the Discord. I think the Discord is a great place for people to come in. We have a channel there for just World Anvil discussion. Yeah, I understand that, Mage. That's all right. But come to the World Anvil discussion. Tell us what you'd like to see. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Also, on this World Anvil page that we have right now, there are comment sections on most of these things. So if you see something that's not working, or it should be working and it's not, let us know. Or you'd like to see something different. I mean, we're still playing around with themes. I don't love the theme we have now, and I'm going to put some CSS to it later. But give us some suggestions. We're going to have our own backgrounds. We're going to do a bunch of things. But, you know, please come to the Discord, check it out, see what we're doing there. Try out the other channels on that as well. We've got some, we've got a frog, not a frog god. We've got FG. There's too many FGs and CNCs in this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got fancy grounds, we've got general chat. I mean, you do this more than I do. I sort of stick to a few channels, but we've got a lot of channels in there. So that's a good place to hang out and talk to us about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and we need suggestions because, like I said, this is like the filtering thing. You know, we could put 1,000,000 layers on there, but we don't want to do that clearly. So we want to come up with some good concentrated, I guess, umbrellas, so to speak, like geography, maybe lore, and just include stuff underneath that so it's not so optional. I guess too many options would probably be crazy. I guess I'm the kind of guy that goes into a place that there's a lot of choices. I don't get anything done because I can't make my mind up.
Yeah,
you know?
it's literally like going to Walmart. I just walk in, look around, go, and then walk out because it just makes my brain hurt. But yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and a lot of this needs to be one of the things we've done. Like, let me show you the Darkenfold region map, or the settlements and locations. We're putting these in as we go along, but I've asked our helper Dante, as she told me she wanted to be called. See, again, it's like 6 different.
Yeah, she likes Dante.
Yeah.
She likes that better.
But see, these should not be coming up on the left-hand side. You can see how that is.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to be, those are about half of them taken out. I would like to just see them come into the middle, and then eventually you'll be able to, if you want to check out one of the locations, you can also stream your way through them by going just back and forth down in here. I don't know if there's a lag on what's happening, but so now I can go to Bowling Drops. I can go back and forth. The thing I love about World Anvil and the way this can be done is that you can attack it. You can attack it from any side you want to. You know, we have maps. You can start exploring that way, but you can also just go right to the information on the left-hand side and start reading. And I know we're going to put a lot of images in here. We've decided. I mean, we have a lot of art. We don't know exactly where we're going to put all of it. But I'm not, as Chuck knows and Steve knows, I'm not a huge art guy. Words are sort of where I prefer to be. So I'm going to stick to the left-hand side, maybe trying to find my way through it, as opposed to the way that other people might. You know, I'm a visual guy, but to me, the images and stuff are sort of a distraction half the time.
Now we have got, you know, we're going to be doing adventures and stuff. We started off originally doing adventures first, just to kind of get the idea of how the templates we want to work out. We're still working on it, of course. All of it's always a work in progress, but we've switched over now full to getting in all of our just regular content. We will be going back and putting adventures in and that kind of thing, but right now, if you go in there, you're not going to see very many. I think we've probably got like 3 on there or something.
We've got 3, I think, on there. I need to work on. I'm going to take over working on C3 so that Perry can focus on Fantasy Ground stuff. But I can show people C3 right now, or C6. It's the most done. And again, we did this, and Mage. You know, Mage probably could tell you that we're doing it wrong. They're going to be doing theirs all sort of blown up and through plots and things. But to me, I like the idea of having the adventure there intact. You know, because let's face this, at the end of the day, right now this is free through February, but probably come March we're going to have different subscriptions. So if you're paying for something to use the world or put your own stuff in there, I think you need access to these things too. And you can basically, I mean, this is your PDF in essence, but it's also a living document, right? It's everything you need from what you would normally get it for a digital PDF. except for it gives you, you know, some very nice ways of going through here and cross-referencing, seeing things. Okay, I'm reading, I see the 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔 River, you know, that should take me down to here, and eventually that will also, you can go right to the article, the 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔 River. I love the idea of all this being linked up, like, because it's just, so there's all, but the 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔 and tab, and I click that, then now I get that, and then I have the map of the layout. What is that called? What are those maps called? Anybody?
Which one? Battle maps?
No. This right here. What are those? When you do it like
isometric.
Yes, isometric. Yeah. Thank you. So, you know, it's a good way of finding things in here. I don't know. You didn't know me back then, Chuck, but Steve and I used to ramble around in college, and when I was doing my master's thesis, I had to come up with something to do because, you know, they won't let you graduate without one of those. And
right.
So
I remember mine.
I basically had to. I decided I would do it on truck drivers. I was an English major, and so I spent a year traveling around with truck drivers, and then I spent 2 months writing my master's thesis because basically I wasted 8 months, and then I had two to get it done. So I wrote it really fast. But what I thought really would be cool would have been, and this was, you know, back before the turn of the century, would have been really cool would have been to have it sort of, what's the word I'm coming up with, dynamic, right? If back then it was a CD-ROM, if you could just have the words come up, and then you could have a song in the background, and then you could click on different images. You could see where I had been because I rode around the country and up in Canada with some guys. And that's essentially what we're doing with this world, right? We're telling a story, but we're putting the images in there. And if you want to know what something looks better, you don't have to go out and grab 6 books. You can just click right here, and there it is. And so if I want to know what the 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔 Inn and Tavern looks like, I've got a picture right there of it. If I want to figure out what where's my map? Where's my map? There it is.
You know, and to add to what he's talking about, the images too, you know, when we put these modules in there, they'll have all the battle maps in them. Just so you guys know, we're actually going through and redoing all of our battle maps for everything, slowly but surely. We haven't really told him about this, but we have a partnership with Dungeon Fog now, and we're going through and trying to get all that worked out so it looks nice and sharp for online play and online use.
It's going to look better than that. In fact, I can maybe do this real quick. Let me see. Have you seen the latest permutation of what Davis has done with the map for this?
I haven't looked in there. He sent me a bunch of questions yesterday. I told him I'd get back with him.
We couldn't figure out how to save it. That was the problem. He couldn't figure out how to save it. The save isn't live. But I'm going to show people what could eventually happen with this. So it'll come up here in just a second. So it's going to be small, but basically that crappy map, no offense to whoever did it, is now going to turn into that one right there.
Yeah, and as he gets used to the program, he'll get better at it. You know?
Right, but I mean, this to me looks pretty good. I like what it's got. I mean, you definitely got more stuff in there, but he couldn't save it, so we're just leaving it alone until he talks to you and figures out what to do.
Right, Mage, absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing we found out early.
You can also change the resolution for the image to the adventure page. The smaller takes up space, and when you click, it'll pop out in a second tab. Yes, yeah. We've talked about, you know, keeping things at a certain size, 600, I think, width or height was our sort of limit. And then, yeah, if you click on it, it'll bring it up. We can do it where we can basically have it come over with the full size.
Yeah. So you can print it out or use it online. You know?
Right.
I mean, I think if you build this the world good enough in a way, regardless of whether they ever implement BTT function into this, I think there's enough tools to where you could use it almost as a VTT with Discord or Skype or something. I really
Yeah,
do.
it's enough of a supplement, and with
Yeah.
you guys are doing rolls and everything, and we haven't even gotten into dice rolls and everything that you can set up in here. But there's so many different things that, again, and we're doing it sort of different than Bill, did over at Frog God. We sort of we came into this party a little bit later, and so we're just building live as we go, and that's why it's free to everybody at the moment, because we want to get everybody's feedback. We want people to follow us on there, and we want to learn what you're seeing how we learn, basically. If there's something screwy on there, that's probably because I screwed it up, and but we're going to get it fixed. And every day we add more and more stuff, and every day you're going to get more and more content. Hopefully by March we're going to have enough up there to justify our subscriptions and to get things going. Now there will be free stuff in there. We're not going to close this off entirely, but there will be certain different levels of subscription, which we haven't quite figured out yet. But there's going to be a lot of things for people to see every day, or every sort of every week. There's hopefully going to be new stuff, and that's going to continue. So whenever Steve or Davis or myself or Chuck, we have something to add into the world, new art, new area of exploration, a new adventure, that's going to go up on the Anvil side. And so basically you're going to be getting that as soon as it comes out on PDF or print or however. You're also going to get it in the world of Aihrde, because we're not only going to be doing Aihrde. We're not just limiting this to Aihrde. We're also going to have Enzea, which is Davis's world, eventually in here.
Yeah. And we're also going to do a world of Siege.
Yeah, right. You want to run Amazing Adventures, you want to run something else, you want to use a Siege engine, that's yours to use. There's going to be some things we need to work out on how that works, but we're going to get all those things in there. So it's not only going to be the world of Aihrde, you'll also be able to get into our other worlds right from that subscription and use them. So you're gonna, I don't know how many adventures we have, probably 100.
I don't know, man. There's a lot on that.
Yeah, if you go into the storeroom over here, not the storeroom, but the workroom, even just to have the copies that we have, that place is just jammed full of stuff. So all those things will eventually be going up on here.
And the one thing I love about this, though, is that there's going to be so much room for community content for us.
Yeah.
Because we've got a whole planet developed. And like, I just started a campaign. We rolled characters up Monday night, and it's going to be in the southern part of Aihrde. I don't know if you've got a map of Aihrde you can throw up there, but it's in the southern part below the main continent. Mm-hmm. And it's a continent that's nothing but jungles. It's got dinosaurs. It's kind of like, in Forgotten Realms, it would be like Chalk, sort of. It's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't know, and Steve, he's written all this stuff up, man. He knows he's got something on every bit of this planet.
Yeah.
So on the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand side there, you'll see that little piece sticking out there below the major continent. That's where it's at. But he was telling me about how he has a whole history written of how the people up north there actually sailed across the Amber Sea, settled that place, and then the civilization there fell, and they had to retreat back to the main continent. Mm-hmm. So there's all kinds of old Aztecan / Mayan type of setup going on down there. And I'm really stoked about that. And to be able to have people to fill in all these other places, not just the places that we already have, like the Highlands and the Cradle and all that, but all this other stuff, man, it's just, I'm flipping out about it. I love it.
Yeah.
So excited. Wished I was 30 again. Brother too, but
Yeah. I'll be we'll be dead before this even filled halfway.
Yeah, we'll leave it to whoever else. We're long gone.
Yeah, but that's all right. That's the way it should go. We want it to keep going for you guys, and we want to get it all set up as much as we can. Let's see. So what else do we have? We sort of, let me take you through. Oh, we've also going to be uploading our fiction, which I'm excited about, especially the stuff that's in Aihrde right now. So if you want to go and read the short stories that we have in A Houseless God that Steve wrote, or in Mirrored Soul, they're right there for you. So The Dead Man's Bath is the very first one of A Houseless God and other tales, and I think they're really good. This is probably my favorite thing Steve's written. I like the tales that are set in there. They're a little more narrative driven, not quite as much of the grandeur of things. It's a story and it's in Aihrde, but it's a relatable story in the way, set up like you might have in an RPG, but it's also, just fiction. It's not science fiction. It's more fantasy fiction, but it's good, And I'm
Well, I think it's good for people who want to learn more about Aihrde too. They can read this stuff.
Yeah.
It's more knowledge.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because it definitely takes place in the Darkfold, and it takes place going through the Enochian land, the forests, and everywhere else in there.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Now, let me ask you a question. Are you going to be streaming some working on this, or no? I don't know if we ever decide what you want to do about the how
we may. I mean, if people want to sit and be.
A lot of people like to watch. Now, I'll tell you what. People like to watch people do dev work like on Roll20 and FG. I'm sure people would be interested. I mean, basically, you just put some music on, you just work, and if somebody comes in the channel, they can ask you a question. If they don't, you're just working.
Well, I'll take everybody through what I've been doing the last couple of days. Okay. All right, you can see the Darkfold map there, and if I want to put in something, because Donta put this stuff in here for me already, or put the articles in. All I really am trying to do now is trying to create an article. I make sure that we've got it. So I would go over here into the search and do dogwood location. I'll bring it up. There's a little bit about the area called Dogwood. I'll flip back, and then I basically can just start put in the marker. And so I would drag the marker up to Dogwood, put it about there. Now we haven't decided on markers yet or locations. Don't be hating on my red and white circle when I showed Chuck that he had a cow the other day. But this is just a way for me to see what we've got, and then we're going to replace these with things that are better along. And so now I fill out my marker, and for now, like I said, we're just using circles that I sort of am doing in red and white. Patriotic trolls that we are, then opacity, and an opacity of 50. And then the title is Dogwood. And then basically what I try to do is I try to take a little bit of a section of the description, bring it over here, put it in, and then a little ellipses. And I try to go off of the end of a sentence so people will see it. And then hit the article, hit related article, look it up. They do make it pretty easy to set this up, I will say. The markers, I don't know if anybody knows how to move markers better than me. I don't like that. Yes, exactly. They are very hard. So I'm going to create that marker. And after a few seconds, it should go up. And now we have one. What did I put in? Dogwood. So let's go over here. And we'll just kind of take it back in. I do like 5 of these, and then I check and make sure that everything's working right. So now you go to the Darkfold Forest. You see that Dogwood is now there. I'm going to close off that. Gives you a little bit of a snippet there, but if you click it again, it's going to bring up the article on the left-hand side. And hopefully on that side of these things, we are going to have links too. Like if you look at 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔, we know that that's an adventure, and we know that it's a location too, but you can see how if I start reading this, you'll see related adventure, C6 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚔. So any of these that we have available that have an adventure or a different tie-in, we'll put those in there so that you'll know where they go. Oh, you went everywhere, got everything in, and then yes. Yeah, Chuck actually got us on that early, Mage. That was horrible. Yeah. Chuck, are you still there? I can't hear
Yeah, I
you.
am. I had my stuff muted because the dog. I had to get rid of him. When you
Oh,
split the dogs up at this house, they have a fit. So
oh,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, but yeah, it was. We learned that quickly.
Yes, and I'm glad we did because I'm not doing this again.
You just give up.
I basically because I already know that my pins are going to be a little screwed up when we do that. But I think there is a way to move the pin. You have to make it movable. I haven't quite figured that out. So if anybody knows how to do that, let me know. Because once I've done it, and if I want to move it a little bit, then I can. But I can't do it right now. So I don't know how to do it. Someone could help me. Be awesome.
Yeah, mate. I don't know if you know or not. Is there a way to actually just drag and drop it? I don't think there is, though. Is there?
Well,
Maybe coordinates. I don't know.
When I read it on the front end, if you allow it to be moved on the front end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I may want to talk to you about that after this is over, or at some point. I'd like to figure out exactly what to do about that. But I love how any of these areas that we already have, I can just drop them in once the articles are in, and the cross-referencing of it is great. Like I can read through here, then I hit Cockleburn in and tabbing, then it's going to take me. I can see that and move along. He said the pins are moved on the front end, then they revert back to the original position if you refresh. Okay, but is there a way, like if I've set up my map, but I want to go in and it's just not quite in the right position, other than going through the whole mess of latitude and longitude, which is you have to go in your brain, figure out which way, practice, move it one spot, move it 5. That's a pain in the butt. So I thought there was a way. So like, let's say if I wanted, let me just do Lake of Nut. Lake of Nut there. I click on the wrench, and then there it is. Now if I want to move it right now, okay, there is. All right, see? Yeah, that's what I need to know. I think there's a way to set them in the advanced, show advanced options. This marker is draggable. Can we, when moved, the new location of the marker is saved. But okay, so let's say maybe that's how you do it. See if that works. We'll see. All right, so Lake of Nut. Now, how do I move it? See, that's the part. I think I actually tried this, but I couldn't quite figure out how to get it to move. See, when I do that, I'm just moving the world. Anyway, I'll play around with it, but that's one of the challenges we have here, is trying to figure out exactly where to put these things and how to move them just a slight bit. All right, let's see. We got anything else, Chuck, that you can think of we might want to show people?
Let's see. Well, I will mention this. They, like I said earlier, I think I kind of touched on it. They are going to definitely be opening up a community plug for this. It's going to be huge. So, you know, if you guys are fans of different types of games, gaming companies, well, like the Frogs in this particular, if you want to join their community, our community on here, we're going to have a big community on here that allow you to not only make like the homebrew content I was talking about, but you can also make up characters and have them adventure in the world. I don't know how that's going to work out yet. They've got a lot of crazy stuff they're planning, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah,
it really excites me. You know.
Well, I think that's the most important part of this. Is like, yeah, okay, it's great. It's like buying the codex and reading it. You know, reading the first part is just basically historical fiction. So that's great and everything, but being able to involve yourself in the community, be a part of the world building team, and also we're plans, you know, for the KOTC to be in here with the community as well. Can I talk about that at all? Not yet.
No.
Okay. I can't talk.
No, you can talk about it, I guess. Yeah, go ahead a little bit. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, we haven't figured it out yet, but we have the Knights of the Crusade, and it's sort of sucked because we've let it fallow. And when we brought Chuck on, we were like, okay, Chuck, maybe we can make this work because it's all part of organized play. And so we want to make sure that the organized play gets back to where we want it. We want to have more people playing more places. But we haven't ever really had a good way to have community going. I mean, we did. We had a Knights of the Crusade, several of them that just were horrible. So, you know, we're finally, I think if we're going to move the Knights over to at least the community part of it on to World Anvil. And now that's not going to happen probably until what, the second quarter, third quarter before they even start it. So,
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a little bit of time, but that'll give us a little bit of time to figure out what we're doing and how to build it. It doesn't,
Yep.
you know.
We're basically working on the back end of that right now, and we hope. We don't want to go down the road of having another website. If this works out the way that Dimitri and Janet have talked about it, we would like to use World Anvil as our home for that. But we'll see. We don't know. But there is definitely organized play coming back to us in a much bigger fashion. I've got a team that's going to meet with me up at GaryCon, and we're going to do some internal testing up there. Just getting our feet wet. Nothing on the outside, just back end stuff. You know, making sure we get things organized properly for games and stuff. Really won't see a big difference right now, but I hope, my goal, fingers crossed, is by Gamehole Con that we show up with what we really have got planned. And then by next GaryCon, it will be the true Knights of the Crusade, which will encompass all of our games, not just CNC, but everything.
Right.
And
Amazing
it's going to be fun.
Adventures.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be it's just going to be different than it was before. It's going to be really cool. That's all I can say about it really at this point.
Well, I was talking to Stephen Davis at lunch today, and now I think we have 32 shows. I mean, 32 games from TROLLZAH games at GaryCon this year.
Yeah, we may. I think there's like 34 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next year, your goal, which is 100. That's not too bad, right? You can do that. Get 100 shows. 100 games of TROLLZAH games by next GaryCon. A year from GaryCon?
I think so, because there's we've got an awful lot of people on the old roster.
Excellent, Doug.
People, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard. It's it's all about redoing the communication and setting up a system and that kind of thing. So I think so. I think it's going to be good for everybody because it's going to be not just cons. It's going to be set up for everything.
Right. That's true.
No.
Yeah, I mean, running them in shows at gaming stores and everything else. But also running games
Strip
online.
Bars.
Strip bars, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so we probably got a few more minutes left before I need to give Steve back his desk. You know what? He's never been able to show the desk. I'm going to show everybody the desk.
Oh, I'd love to see the desk. That's
all right.
Awesome.
So this is one of the old ones. Can anyone see it yet? I can't see anything, so I have no idea.
Oh, wow. That thing's ancient. It looks like you dug it out of a Soviet bunker.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, my dad was a physician, and I would go to office with him. I was like 2 or 3, 4 years old, and whatever, just to kind of want to hang out with him. And he had a metal desk exactly like this one in green, and a little more of a brighter green. And so I used to sleep underneath in this hole right where I'm sitting, and he would go see his patients, bring them back into the room and talk to them. And I would just be sacked out underneath there. So I have very fond memories of these metal desks. Now they're heavier than hell. I don't think I would ever want one. In fact, I told Steve if he moves again, I'm not helping him. I helped him move in college several times, but I'm not going to do it now that he has like 5,000 books and metal desks that are so, big. But what can you do? Anyway, that was his desk. We'll just give a little bit of a different tour here. You can see outside. This is where he looks. This is where he looks out at the birds.
That's where he says, "Look, is that that's not a Dr. Pepper bottle there. What is that?
Where?
Sacrilege."
No, that's bug spray.
Oh, all right. Easy passes. There is a rumor that this is all a put on, that secretly he drinks Sprite.
No. Of course, now I must admit I am not a Dr. Pepper fan. Probably 5 years ago, I was drinking a Diet Coke in the shower, and my wife looked at me and said, "Really?" And so, so that day, it was my last Diet Coke I ever had. So now I drink coffee and water mostly. But now we were at a con probably what, 5 years ago. No. I'll take that back. 2 years ago, whatever, somewhere. And I had no. Now I did like Fanta Cherry when I was a kid. It was the what was it called? Red cream soda. That's what I liked when I was really young because that's so sweet. And I have a sweet tooth. But anyway, I drank when it was Dr. Pepper's because there was absolutely nothing else around. That's all we had. And it's way too syrupy for me. I try because I know we all love Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is the greatest thing in the world. Okay, now we got that out of the way. I don't really like Dr. Pepper. I like coffee, and I tolerate water. I've started making my own seltzer water. That was about it. And I like beer. I like booze. I like all of that. But I just gave up on the Diet Coke and never could really adapt to Dr. Pepper. Although if they decide they want to sponsor, I will start drinking it.
I literally told Steve I'm thinking about talking to him because they know him.
Oh,
They're
they do.
aware of him. They know about him because I've been watching you since I took over social media last year. I've noticed they like a lot of our posts. They watch.
Wow. Well, that's good to know.
So,
I didn't know
that.
Yeah,
it would be kind of cool to have a big banner up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, and we all become. Well, I'm already a partial diabetic. We all become diabetics.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But
Well, the thing that's so funny to me is that I try to. He talks about it all the time, and whenever we were and this is we're diverging for a few minutes here, but whenever we were in college and we would travel places, right? He was the easiest person to travel with, but the worst person because Kenneth and I would sit in the front and he would go in the back and he would fall asleep, and we'd wake up in Vermont or wherever we were going, but he would need to have a Dr. Pepper, and he would have to have it in a can, and it would have to be cold. And then you would have to have it at a certain, altitude. I don't know what it was. It was very, very, very particular about it. So we would all basically have to go find it for him. Whatever he needed for Dr. Pepper was what we did. So a lot of times we were in search of bookstores and Dr. Peppers when we were rambling around in our 20s and stuff. There's a guy that you haven't met, but you guys will hear us talk about him sometimes, Kenneth. And Kenneth is a very easygoing guy, and I'm reasonably easy. All I really need is the road. I like the road, and so that makes me happy. But Steve needs to have that Dr. Pepper. So honestly, believe it. Yeah, Miranda, that's what he says, And I did not like I liked my Diet Coke in a can, and I liked it to be ice cold so much though that I would buy those little freezer things that you could slide it into, and then that was the best way to have it. Yeah, exactly, John. That's the way it goes. All right, so
I'm a big ginger ale fan. So
if
I had to pick, probably overall, I like sodas, but man, I love some ice cold ginger ale over ice.
Ginger ale is really good. Now the best thing about I've been making my own stuff. I got one of those soda streams because I drink seltzer water, and I'm in Maine half the year, and then I'm in Arkansas half the year. And when I'm in Arkansas, I can't find any of the seltzer that I want. Plus, I live 30 minutes from the nearest store, so I started making my own with one of those soda streams. And so I'll add some ginger into it and get that flavor of basically kind of like a ginger ale. So
there's a place in North Carolina. I don't know where it's at, but me and the wife, when we go down to the coast a lot of times, we'll go the back roads, and we found a brand of ginger ale down there where they put like cayenne pepper and shit in it. And the first time we found it, we didn't know that.
Oh, really?
We both had a bottle of ice cold bottle riding down the road. It's like 95 degrees out. And we turned those things up to cool off, and they burned the shit out of us. It was terrible. We were like, what is this? And we discovered that they were spiced up ginger ale. I mean, really, really, really spiced up. It was crazy.
Hey, look at that, John. Oh, yeah, that would be pretty bad, I think. John's looking to start a game. Let's see, a few open.
Yeah,
Or he has some openings.
Right, he is. Yeah, there's a looking for game channel there, and he's been posting in there.
Oh, in the Discord, yeah. You know,
Yep.
I must
and
admit,
John's great DM too, or GM, or what do you want to call it, CK?
Oh,
Whatever.
John,
Right.
yeah, he's gonna do some stuff for us, I think, hopefully. But yeah, I must admit, now once you came on board, I sort of let you handle the social media, so I've sort of stopped posting and stopped looking as much. I need to get back on there.
There's some cool stuff on there. We've got some great people out there.
Oh yeah, and I see the notifications, and I'm on Discord on the World Dev site, but mostly what you've been doing is sort of freed me up to do some other back end stuff that I've been on the back burner, like redoing OBS or drive-through. We're going to be revamping that, revamping the store, things like that. So, all right, well, we've gotten way off track here, and I want to give Steve back his office.
A couple things I want to do real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
First off, here's the link one more time for our World Anvil. Come to our Discord, hang out, help us with that. Again, I want to ask everybody, please give us any suggestions. We'll take anything because we could probably implement it. And, you know, nobody is perfect. We need to have other people's ideas and stuff on there. Because I don't know how many things already that people have told us about that aren't on the development team, and we've used it. Yeah. It's just great. It's good stuff. Secondly, I want to give away a sub to somebody in here today randomly.
Good deal.
We're going to do that right now as soon as I find the right place to go to on this. But while I'm doing that...
Hey, and Jingo gave us some biddies. I missed that earlier.
Oh, Jingo. Thank you, Jingo, for the biddies, buddy.
Yes, thanks, man.
It's awesome. Last thing on the agenda while I'm doing this, Tim, you can tell them about this. I'm going to post the link in here. Okay? Check that out right there, guys. Tim, tell them about that.
Oh, yeah. Frog God Games, they had their new Kickstarter out just not too long. Sorry, I got obsessed. I get these... Now that I'm old, I get these really long hairs that are weird in my eye. And I also have a problem. This is eyebrow, right? Yeah. Anyway, this is eyebrow, not eyelash. I get confused. Don't ask my wife. Anyway, sorry. Off topic. We're going back. Frog God Games has their new limited collection box sets going on on Kickstarter now. You've got the link up there. Go check it out. Give them lots of love. I think it's going gangbusters now, right? It's like
yeah. I don't even know whether
20. It was 27 earlier.
It's up there, man. What's the link say? I didn't look on the link, but
I don't know.
I'll look right now because I want to see anyway. I was watching when it launched, and man, it was hauling ass. 50 grand, right? Well, yeah, 50K right now.
Wow. All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's take a look at it real quick. So anyway, yeah, where we got and you know who else has got one? Can you look it up for me real quick? Joe Goodman. They've got the Metamorphosis Alpha.
That's right. They do.
Warden
they do
going on.
Yeah, it's in the Discord, but I'll find it real quick. That's easy to do.
But yeah, go check that out if you haven't. Yeah, they've gone through 11 stretch goals. He said they're up to 50,000. They've got 34 days to go, so they're going to be really busy for the next little bit.
Man, yeah, that's some Kickstarter. There's some cool stuff in there, man. They've got
a lot of stuff, and it's going to be a lot of work for them. And the next month they're going to be consumed with it. But that's some pretty good art there. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Coming from
the same thing. It's cool. It reminded me of some of the old Edgar Rice Burroughs covers, man. You know, like the Conan stuff, sort of.
Yeah, and again, like I'm not a huge art person, but I do like that. I like a lot of what Peter does, and I like a lot of what I love what Jason Walton does for like our Storytellers Thesaurus cover. That's one of my favorites, and the Tales of Wonder covers. But
there it is. Yeah, that's for Metamorphosis Alpha. It's sort of like an adventure off of the Warden, which we just did the Kickstarter for. You know.
Yeah.
So this is an adventure, big adventure for it.
All right.
Yeah, man, that's funny. So let's do this. I'm gonna give away
Go ahead.
A gift subscription for you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Gives you some cool emotes to play with and other stuff. You know, you'll see when you get it because I think
hey, Moondog got one.
A list. Who got it?
Moondog.
Who got it? Moondog got it. All right.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, there you go, Moon.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Stand away, buddy.
He's one of the guys helping us out. I want to, and I really should have done that earlier. I want to give these guys some love. Bake and Eldritch and Big and Whistle, Perry, God Delusion, Slappy One, Joy is Golden, Red Dragon, Ultra Magnus, Honey Badger, Moondog, and Epi. Epi has to be my favorite, and Perry by far, because I actually have their name there. I don't have to learn everybody's handle. Although I'm getting most of them, but all these names get thrown to me, and I get lost. Let's see. All right, so yeah, let me just plug Joe's real quick. It's Doom on the Warden. It's basically, I think it's the dock area of the Warden that he's working with.
I haven't looked at it. I know it's supposed to be pretty horrific, though.
Yeah, I mean, and Joe does great work. He does some really neat things, and they always come up with some cool twist. And I don't know who's doing the art for some of this, but let's see. Yeah, and then of course it's Jim, which just finished up ours. So, all right. So you guys, please check those things out. Please come follow us on World Anvil if you're not following us already. We want to get your ideas, your thoughts, your inputs, and just be able to hang out. Come join us on the Discord. We will be back tomorrow at 1 for Tricks of the Trade. And are we doing is there a giveaway tomorrow?
Yes, there is a giveaway tomorrow.
Okay.
I forgot to mention it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So there's a
yeah,
giveaway tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing a giveaway tomorrow. I think I might have even come up with it, but I can't remember what it is right at the moment. But we wrote it down.
It's a good one. I mean, not that they're not all good, but I think it's like a discount or something. It's good.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody since this is my show. I think it's a $30 gift certificate.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, but it's gonna be sort of a contesty thing. It's only gonna be one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you got to come by tomorrow and check that out, and you'll get a gift certificate for the store worth $30. And
sounds good.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for showing up and for my inaugural show. We're gonna do this one probably every other week.
Give me a break.
Well, because I live up in Hardy at the moment, and I have lousy internet, as most of you know, who see me try to Skype in. So it means I come down to the Troll Dens every 2 weeks. Every other week, Steve and I can go over business, catch up, and then I can do the show. But every week it gets to be a little bit of a drag. Now, I may try to do some, like we talked about, just showing from home if my stream is okay and I'm not doing anything labor intensive. I may, people that bored and you want to watch me do some stuff, we can.
Let me ask a question.
We can talk.
Thank you for Miranda for saying that. We really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much.
We've talked about having Tim get on here maybe once a month and doing a cooking show. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah,
he likes to cook.
That's one of the.
He does.
That's one of the few things in life that I really enjoy.
I figured that he could cook, and then I could just drive down and eat it while he's fixing it. You can watch me eat while he cooks.
Yeah, as long as you're wearing a shirt, and as long as
that's supposed to mean?
Well, I don't know, but regardless, I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, it's something that we might try. It might be kind of fun. Steve and I had this idea that we would, at one point, he would read out the tricks of the trade while I was making some sort of gaming food, basically like something you would take to the whatever. And so by the time that the food was done, the tricks would be done. That was sort of an idea. So anyway,
I still want to do the Davis and Jason Bay drunken brawl.
I just
great. Get them in a big pit of mud and have them just wrestle.
They don't have to be drunk just to have a brawl. That'd be kind of fun. But now, once I get back to Maine, I can do this show late at night if we want to. Right now, I come down to the dens and I need to get back before too late. But we may change it in April to, like a 7 o'clock or an 8 o'clock in the evening. I can take a night and do that.
Sure.
All right.
It'll get warm soon anyway, and you'll be back up in Maine, so you'll have your.
I will be much happier. Let's put it that way. I do love it here, but I just something about that place. Anyway, Steve is knocking at the door. he needs to get in here and do some work. So I'm going to sign off. Chuck, you have a good day. Thanks everybody for showing up, and we
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it.
We really appreciate it.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Good evening.